So when you think of the word Asia, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Is it ancient temples? Or maybe those massive futuristic megacities? Well, the truth is it's all of that and so much more. Today, we're going to go way beyond the map to build a portrait of a continent that's not just a place, but a foundational idea that is still shaping our entire world. So how do we even begin to answer a question that big? Is Asia just a spot on the globe, a collection of really profound ideas, or a history that's still unfolding right before our eyes? Well, the answer is yes, it's all of those things. So let's peel back the layers together, starting right at the very beginning, the ground floor on which everything else was built. Okay, so our story begins with the land itself. And we're not talking about just any land, but a region so rich, so fertile, that it literally gave birth to some of humanity's very first civilizations. This is the foundation of our modern world. Now, what's so amazing about this is that civilization wasn't some single one-off event. It sparked to life independently all across Asia thousands of years ago. You had Mesopotamia in the west, the Indus Valley in the south, and the Shang dynasty way out in the east. All these unique experiments in how to build a society, all bubbling up around the same ancient era. You've probably heard this term before, the Fertile Crescent. But why is it so important? Well, this is the spot where humanity made this monumental leap from wandering around hunting and gathering to actually settling down and farming. And that one change, it changed everything. Suddenly you have extra food, which means you can build cities, create specialized jobs, you can build complex societies. It's the groundwork for literally everything that followed. And listen, this wasn't just about growing food. It was a complete intellectual explosion. These early societies were incredible hubs of innovation. I mean, think about it. Concepts we take completely for granted today, like a circle having 360 degrees, or the very idea of writing down a code of laws for everyone to follow, that came from right here in ancient Mesopotamia. Okay, so we've got the physical world down. Let's move to our next layer and see how this all builds. We're going from the tangible to the world of ideas. Because if Asia was the cradle of civilization, it was also, without a doubt, the wellspring of faith. Almost every single major world religion was born here. Just take a second and look at this list. It is a staggering spiritual legacy. From Hinduism and Buddhism to Judaism and Christianity, pretty much all of the world's major religions have their roots in Asia. These are the belief systems that have given a moral and ethical compass to billions of people for thousands of years. And this incredible diversity of thought led to some amazing philosophical depth. I mean, you have Hinduism's concept of dharma, this idea of a cosmic law that governs your duty and ethics. Then you can contrast that with Buddhism's Four Noble Truths, which is more like a framework for diagnosing and ending suffering. Both offer these profound and profoundly different paths to living a meaningful life. They created the intellectual software that would run the empires to come. So we have the land, and we have these powerful ideas. What comes next? Order. Power. For centuries, Asia wasn't a continent of little states. It was a giant canvas for vast, powerful empires that organized millions and projected their influence all across the globe. Just look at the Indian subcontinent for a second. This is not just some boring list of names, right? This is a story of succession and incredible scale. You have each empire building on the one before it, from the Mauryan foundations to the Gupta's golden age of science and art, and then later the jaw-dropping architecture of the Mughals. They created legacies you can still see and feel today. And this is a huge point. We're not just talking about regional dominance here. This power was recognized all over the known world. As this Arabic text from the 9th century points out, one of India's empires was considered a global superpower of its day. For a long time, Asia wasn't just a corner of the world. It was a center of gravity. But here's the thing. Asia was never isolated in its power. Far from it. Our next layer shows us that it was this dynamic, buzzing crossroads, a center of global trade where goods, ideas, technologies, and cultures just flowed back and forth for centuries, connecting everyone. You've heard of the Silk Road, of course. Well, think of it as the original internet. It was a physical network of routes that connected the markets of China with the Mediterranean. And it moved so much more than just silk. It carried religions like Buddhism eastward and technologies like making paper westward. It created this shared current of ideas that flowed across entire continents. So all this wealth, this incredible hub of activity, it made Asia an absolute magnet for the rest of the world. The desire to get a piece of that action, to access those riches directly,
became an obsession for European powers. And that obsession is what launched the Age of Exploration and ended up changing the map of the world forever.
All right, let's fast forward to our final layer, the modern world. After centuries of colonialism and massive disruption, Asia has re-emerged in just the last few decades as this explosive economic and technological powerhouse that is actively reshaping the 21st century. The scale of this transformation is just staggering. These numbers show gross domestic product, but it's adjusted for something called purchasing power parity, or PPP. It's basically a much more accurate way to compare economies. And you can see that the output of powers like China, India, and Japan makes up this massive and growing slice of the whole global pie. This isn't a regional story anymore. It's a fundamental shift in the world's economic gravity. And what's so wild is how dynamic this all is. It's not a static picture. In 2014, for example, India actually took over from China as the world's fastest growing major economy. It just goes to show you, this is a continent with multiple rising economies, all evolving and competing. And it is so important to remember that this new economic engine is not a monolith. It's incredibly diverse. You've got China as the world's manufacturing hub, the Philippines has become the world's capital for business process outsourcing, and then you have alliances like ASEAN, which created the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, or RCEP, which is now the biggest free trade bloc on the planet. Each piece plays a distinct and powerful role. Okay, so we've built this portrait layer by layer. Let's go all the way back to that first question. What is Asia? It's pretty clear it's not just one thing. You can't pin it down with a single border or a single idea or just one moment in time. It's a composite of all these layers we've just explored. It's a place where ancient philosophies still influence modern boardrooms, where the old Silk Road has been reborn as digital highways and global supply chains. It's a place with a deep, foundational history that is, right now, actively defining our global future. And that leaves us right here with one final thought. You have these two powerful forces, an ancient, profound heritage on one side, and a relentless, futuristic ambition on the other. As those two things continue to interact, and sometimes even collide, the next chapter of Asia's story is still being written, and what that chapter holds is, without a doubt, going to shape the world for all of us.